what's up? Welcome to my very first YouTube video. I have never done this before, so bear with me. But today I decided that I wanted to do a little get ready with me slash tutorial slash... I don't even know what I want to do with my makeup today, so yeah, this is going to be fun. But if you're interested in seeing what I do to my face today, just keep on watching. Yeah. Okay, so I always start with primer. I'm using my Tarte Quench Hydrating Primer today. This has been my absolute favorite primer lately. I love this stuff. I have oily skin, and this stuff doesn't make me feel extra oily. It just creates like a really nice base for the rest of my makeup. Also, side note, let's just ignore the fact that my nails are completely disgusting right now. I'm gonna go ahead and actually do my brows off camera because that is literally like the longest process of my whole makeup routine, so I will be right back. Okay, so brows are done, and now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the eyeshadow. Like I said, I don't really know what I want to do today, but lately I've kind of been feeling like darker, like smokier looks. Okay, so I think I want to do kind of like a red brownish smoky eye? I'm not really sure. I'm gonna just pick up some colors and see where this goes. So right now I'm using the Anastasia Subculture palette, and I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the shade New Wave with a fluffy blending brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use that as a transition shade. So I've already primed my eyes. I'm using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and I also have a little bit of concealer on there from when I carved out my brows. I like to start with my eyes first because I feel like almost every single time I do my eyes, there's always something that I need to clean up, and that way I'm not getting like fallout or anything on my foundation. It's just a little bit easier to work with for me, so that's why I do this. I'm just blending this out throughout the like crease and up to the brow bone. I always drag my transition shades up towards my brow bone, and I always bring them all the way in, pretty much, to the inner corner of my eye. Now I'm taking my Morphe M518 brush, and I'm going to go ahead and dip into All Star, which is this like little purpley maroon-ish color. And I'm just going to run that just right in my crease, just a little bit below that first color that we used. And again, I'm going to kind of like drag this out a little bit in the outer corner. And I am just using circular motions to kind of blend these two colors together. I always look scary before I do my foundation. Most of the time, my looks come together. Once you throw some lashes on and put on the foundation and shit, it comes together. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Rowdy. That is the shade right here. And I'm going to use just kind of like a tapered blending brush for this so that I can be more precise. And I'm just going to focus this kind of like mostly on the outer corner and then drag it across my crease and blend it together and then get it on the inner corner as well. And I don't like to apply too much pressure when I'm trying to blend them together, because with too much pressure it's just gonna put a lot more product into one spot, whereas if you're using a lighter pressure and you're just blending it consistently, it's gonna kind of diffuse it out. And now it looks like I have a black eye. Love it. Okay, now that we look nice and scary, let's go ahead and brighten this up just a little bit with some gold shimmer. This is my favorite gold shimmer to use ever. Still out of the Subculture palette. It's shade Adorn. And I like to just get this with my fingers most of the time. When I use a brush, it just doesn't stay as pigmented as I want it to. So I'm going to take a little bit on my fingers and I'm just going to place that right where we still have a little gap. I wanted to keep that pretty free because I like having like a spotlight kind of effect on my eyes. And this is just like a really easy way to do that. This gold is so pigmented, you don't really need a whole lot. And it's so pretty. And then I'm just going to take the same Morphe brush that I was using with no extra product and just blend / sweep away any like stray gold that I have on my lid. Just keep around that gold. I don't want to blend the gold into like across my lid. I just want to keep it right in the middle. So now that we have done that and we're still looking really scary, let's go ahead and do foundation and concealer and like the face before we go back to the eyes. I like to do this first. I don't think I'm going to do liner today. This is a pretty bold look. Actually, do I want to do liner? No, I think I'm going to skip the liner today. So I'm using the Becca Skin Love foundation and I'm in the shade Buttercup. I go into denial like every winter because I get really tan and bronzy during the summer, and so I just don't like to admit to myself like how white I actually get during the winter. So I'm sprucing my face right now with this Ready Set Radiant by Tarte. I like to do this. I feel like it helps blend the foundations a little bit better when it's a little bit more moist. And I'm using my Morphe M439 brush. This is like my new favorite foundation brush. I love it. I think that it applies foundation flawlessly. And I just buff that around. I buff it into my skin. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go to concealer, and I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer. I love this concealer because it has the same kind of applicator as the Tarte Shape Tape. Coffee makes me so happy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and apply this all over underneath my eyes. I don't like to put concealer like in any other places other than just underneath my eyes. I feel like it gets like pretty cakey and I don't want to look cakey. So we're going to go ahead and go in with a flat foundation brush and I just lightly blend this in. I don't like to pull on my face too much, but I just use like really short, light, kind of like pressured strokes to blend my concealer in. The tools that you use for your makeup, definitely, it's just your personal preference. I know that so many people like swear by a beauty blender, and I still use beauty blenders, but not as much as I use brushes anymore. So I use this little flat brush, and then I go in with this little dual-ended brush. It's a foundation brush and a little concealer brush on the other end. And I use the concealer side, and I just kind of like get right underneath my eyes where I crease really bad and just make sure there's not a whole lot of just like extra buildup of product down there. And then I take the other end and I just kind of press the rest of my foundation or the rest of the concealer into my foundation. I don't sweep it, I just press it in. And this has no extra product on it at all. This is just working with the concealer that I already have underneath my eyes. And now we get to bake. Okay, so I'm going to take my Milk Makeup Blur and Set light setting powder. So I'm just going to take this onto my damp beauty blender and put this underneath my eyes, and we gonna bake, because I find that this concealer, I do really like it, but if I don't bake enough, I do crease really bad underneath my eyes. So I definitely like to bake. But then I take just a little bit and just pounce that around the rest of my face to set everything. I find that this helps me blend like my contour and everything a little bit better, blending it with a powder. And it also helps mattify my face because I get super oily in my T-zone throughout the day, and doing this just really helps set everything. So while we're baking, I am going to go ahead and do my lashes. Okay, so I think I'm going to go in with these Sephora lashes. They're called Demure. I don't typically wear these very often because they're very like exaggerated and long on the outside, and sometimes I feel that makes my eyes kind of like droop down. So we'll see how we feel about these. I might end up switching them, but let's see. Let's see. I don't do mascara before I put my lashes on most of the time because my eyelashes are naturally curled, and so when I put on mascara before, I feel like it's so hard for me to get super precise with my lashes. So I do the lashes first and then the mascara. Okay. Okay guys, so I applied my lashes, my camera stopped working for a second, and now we're gonna go ahead and wipe away the bake that I have going on right here. And then we're gonna go ahead and go into contouring and highlighting and all that fun makeup stuff. Okay, so I am taking this blush definition, it's 74 brush just from Sephora, and I'm going to go ahead and go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills powder contour kit, and I'm going to take these two bottom shades right here, these two, together, and this is what I contour with. And then you go in with just like a little fluffy brush. I don't have a bunch of fancy brushes, you guys, so just bear with me. And I have this little mini Too Faced medium deep matte bronzer. So I use this as contour, and when I use it as a bronzer, because it's like a medium to deep, I try to keep it like pretty light. I don't like to use too much, but I just warm up my face with it. Okay, so now that we've contoured and bronzed, I'm going to go ahead and just highlight a little bit, kind of where we baked. I don't need a whole lot because that powder is kind of like a brightening powder, but I feel like it just gives me a little bit more dimension to my face when I add a little bit more of the highlight. And I'm still just in the same contour palette, but I'm taking these two shades. I like to mix them. I feel like the middle one is too yellow and the other one is just like too light for me to use like just alone. So I mix them both, and this is just a Real Techniques, I don't know, like powder brush or something. Expert Face Brush. Now we're gonna go in with blush, and I'm gonna take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio. This one is Pool Party, and I'm just gonna kind of swipe my brush through all three of these. This is a pretty pigmented blush, so I don't like to use too much of it, but it gives off just like a really nice like deeper pink color. It's not quite purple, but it's not like bright pink either. Now we're gonna do highlight. I'm also taking a Real Techniques. This is a setting brush, but I use it for my highlighter. And I think today I want to use my Morphe highlighter. This is the High Impact Highlighter by Morphe. Spark. I think it's really, really pretty. I love this one. And I'm just going to highlight my cheekbones. Okay, so highlight is done. Before I move on to the bottom lash line, like mascara and everything on the bottom, I'm going to set my face and let that sit for a second so that I don't get mascara underneath my eyes, because that happens to me all the time. I love this Morphe setting spray. I feel like it does make me a little bit more dewy throughout the day than others, so I like to go in again with my all-nighter Urban Decay. I don't know if doubling up really helps anything, but it's a mental thing, so I like doing it. I'm so excessive with my setting sprays. Every time I go into work, I seriously go around, like throughout the day, to almost every setting spray and just spray it on my face because, I don't know, it's a mental thing. I feel like it's just helping my makeup set a little bit better. Step that I forgot to do is set my brows. So I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. And this is just a little mini version, but I'm just going to set my brows. Okay, so now that we have set our face with spray and everything, I'm going to go ahead and go back into that Subculture palette, and I'm going to smoke out the lower lash line. And I'm going to go ahead and, what brush do I want to use? Just going to use this small, I don't know what this brush is called, but I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to go in with All Star, and I'm just going to kind of smoke out the lower lash line and blend it into the eyeshadow. And I'm really smoking it out on the outer corner. And I'm keeping it pretty light on the inner part because I really want this look to be like blown out on the outer part of my eye rather than keeping it so much on the inside. Okay, now I'm going to take this flat liner brush. I think it's the liner brush. I don't know what this is called either. But I'm going to go in with Rowdy, so that deeper purple. And I'm going to go really close to my lash line. Sorry, my voice is disappearing, I guess. Just like that. Alright, and now I think I want this look to be a little bit extra dramatic, so I'm going to go in with this Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in 0. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to line the top waterline, or the lash line. This is just going to help blend my lashes into my fake lashes. This is a step that I do pretty much anytime I wear lashes. I just feel like it gives them more of like a flawless, like blended look. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the lower lash line. Okay, so now that we have that done, now I'm going to put on some mascara and then we'll be done. Okay, so I have finished the lower lash line. I've put mascara on and eyeliner and everything, and now we're going to go ahead and do lips. I'm just using my Milani Amore Shine, or Amore Shine, in Foxy. It's just this pretty brown color. I really like the Milani lip glosses. They're super pigmented and really nice. Most of the time I do like to line my lips when I use a gloss just because I don't want it to bleed, but with this one I feel that it stays in place really well, and yeah, I just really like the color of it. I think it's really pretty. I'm such a brown lips person, so this is typically the color that I like to use. But yeah, so this is the look. I'm just going to finish off with some setting spray and go do my hair, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is the final look. I went ahead and did my hair and everything. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you guys have any ideas or like any suggestions on like what you want me to try out, I'm always up for a challenge, so comment below. I've also linked all of my social media down below, so go ahead and give me a follow on any of those. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.